When my brother became a math teacher, he shared an interesting observation with me. He noticed that there were 3 types of students in his class. The first kind of student did less than 40 of the homework, crammed for the big test the week before, and ended up failing. The second kind of student did about 6,080 of the homework, studied a bit, and managed to get an average grade. But it was the third kind of student who stood out. They did 100 of the homework, didn't study much for the test, yet consistently passed with a high B or better. So what made these students more successful when it came to the test? It wasn't that they were necessarily smarter or more talented. It was that they didn't see the homework as optional. They understood the power of consistency. They recognized that nothing beats showing up every day, doing the work, and putting in the time. If you want to achieve your goals, you have to master consistency. You need to see your goals as mandatory, not optional. And you have to do the homework for your goals in order to accomplish them. But how can we master consistency? How can we follow through on our homework? In this video, I am going to share with you 8 ways to help you start mastering consistency and achieve your goals. These strategies will help you ace the big test we call life. The first step is to make a plan. Just like a teacher creates a lesson plan with mini homework assignments throughout the semester, you can create a plan for reaching your goal. Write down a timeline that includes your start date, end date, and the specific actions you're going to take to reach your goal. Whether it's losing 20 pounds, starting a business, or learning a new skill, having a plan will give you clarity and direction. Next, create milestones. These are small goals within your larger goal that help you see how much progress you're making. Celebrate these milestones and make them feel like events, whether it's saving $100 or completing a chapter of your book. Every step forward is a success. By celebrating your progress, you'll feel motivated and won't lose steam as easily. Another crucial step is to actually make time for your goals. Many people make the mistake of setting goals but forget to block out dedicated time to work on them. Whether it's 2 hours a day for painting or 30 minutes for exercise, block out specific time slots for your goals. These dedicated hours can't be used for anything else. This way, you have no excuses and are more likely to follow through. While planning for the future is essential, don't get caught up thinking too much about it. Focus on the present moment and what you can do right now. Overthinking the future can be overwhelming and can lead to procrastination. Remember, the only moment that matters is the present and what you're going to do with it. One common pitfall is negotiating with yourself. The students who performed best in my brother's math class did not negotiate with themselves. They didn't see the homework as optional, they just did it. If you find yourself tempted to negotiate with yourself, recognize that this is your brain trying to avoid work. Remind yourself that you've committed to this goal, and there's no room for negotiation. Stick to your plan and don't let your inner negotiator win. Revisit your goals often. Journal about them every day, write them on sticky notes and place them on your mirror. Set reminders on your phone. Keep thinking about your goals and why you chose to pursue them. Dig into the emotions and motivations behind your goals. When you consistently feel that your goals are worthy and important, you're more likely to work on them. Be forgiving of your failures, but keep going. It's inevitable that you'll make mistakes along the way. Don't beat yourself up over it. Instead, learn from your failures and ask yourself what you can do to prevent them from happening again. The important thing is to keep going and not dwell on past mistakes. Every day is a new opportunity to get closer to your goal. Lastly, do it anyway. Goals are tough, and that's why we care about them. On the days when you're not feeling motivated or excited, push through anyway and do the work. Cultivate inner resolve and become the type of person who keeps promises to themselves. Remember, it's not about being excited every day, it's about showing up and doing the work. Even when it's challenging, becoming consistent is the key to unlocking your goals. It's about taking charge of your own life, developing habits and routines that lead to success. Like the stonemason who hits a boulder 1,000 times, eventually, that boulder will split in half. Eventually, test day will arrive, and if you've done your homework, you'll ace it. And remember, this video is sponsored by Skillshare. If you're interested in learning more evidence-based techniques and want to explore your creativity, check out the classes on how to study and learn effectively on Skillshare. The first 1,000 of my subscribers to click the link in the description will get a free trial of Skillshare Premium membership. Because lifelong learning is important, and Skillshare is here to support you on your journey. So, what actions from this video are you going to implement in your life? How will you master consistency and achieve your goals? Don't just watch and forget, take action and make a difference in your life. And if you found this video valuable, consider giving a tip proportional to the value you received. The link can be found in the description. Your support helps us create more content that can positively impact your life. Now go out there and show the world what consistency looks like. Let's achieve our goals together. You have set audacious goals for yourself. You have broken them down into smaller milestones and daily actions. You have even started making some progress. But then you hit a wall. Your initial enthusiasm wears off, and as a result, it becomes increasingly difficult to show up and do the work every day. But fear not, because there is a simple tweak in your strategy that can make all the difference in keeping you going. In the world of behavioral economics, there is a concept known as loss aversion. It refers to our tendency to prefer avoiding losses rather than acquiring equivalent gains. This means that losing something hurts us twice as much as gaining something brings us joy. In fact, some researchers suggest that the impact of losses may be up to 5 to 7 times as powerful as gains. When we set goals, we often focus on the benefits we will gain from achieving them. We visualize getting in shape, having more money in our bank accounts, pursuing a new career, and spending quality time with our loved ones. We might even create vision boards to remind ourselves of these aspirations every day, and that's all well and good. But what loss aversion teaches us is that we also need to consider what we stand to lose if we don't reach our goals. If a vision board motivates us, an anti-vision board will motivate us even more 2 times, but realistically, 5 to 7 times as much. So, the next time you're attempting to motivate yourself to achieve a big goal, don't just focus on the potential gains. Give just as much, if not more, attention to the potential losses. Ask yourself tough questions like, what do I stand to lose if I don't reach my goal? What is the cost of staying on my current path each day? How will my future look if I don't make a change? By framing the status quo as a loss, you will become much more likely to take action. So, instead of solely focusing on the benefits of reaching your goals, make a conscious effort to consider the losses you may face if you don't achieve them. By doing so, you will create a sense of urgency and motivation to take action. Remember, loss aversion can be a powerful tool in propelling you forward on your journey towards success. But how can you apply this concept of loss aversion in practice? Well, let me give you a few actionable tips. Firstly, take some time to reflect on your goals and the potential losses associated with not reaching them. Create a list of the negative consequences that may arise if you continue on your current path. Visualize and internalize these losses, allowing yourself to truly grasp the impact they could have on your life. Next, use this understanding as fuel for your motivation. Whenever you find yourself lacking enthusiasm or struggling to stay focused, remind yourself of the losses you are risking by not taking action. Let them serve as a reminder that the pain of inaction far outweighs the temporary discomfort of hard work. Additionally, find accountability partners who can support and challenge you to stay on track. Share your goals and the potential losses with them, allowing them to hold you accountable for your actions. Sometimes, having someone else there to remind you of what you stand to lose can be incredibly powerful in keeping you motivated. Furthermore, consider implementing daily rituals or habits that reinforce the importance of your goals and the consequences of not taking action. For example, write down a list of the losses you face if you don't act each morning, or create a habit of meditating on the potential future you are trying to avoid. Remember, loss aversion is a psychological concept that taps into our innate fear of missing out or experiencing negative consequences. By harnessing this fear, we can turn it into a powerful tool for motivation and action. In conclusion, when setting goals and striving for success, don't just focus on the gains you'll achieve. Take the time to consider the losses you'll experience if you don't reach your goals. Use loss aversion as a motivational force, propelling yourself forward by visualizing and internalizing the potential negative consequences. By doing so, you will create a sense of urgency and determination that will keep you committed to your goals. So remember, losses hurt more than gains feel good, and that's why loss aversion may be the key to unlocking your true potential. Thank you for watching this video. If you found it valuable, don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we upload new content. By doing so, you'll gain access to more valuable insights and strategies for success in all areas of your life. Now, I want to hear from you. What are the actions you're going to implement in your life after watching this video? Let me know in the comments below. And finally, if you found this video particularly valuable and would like to show your appreciation, you can give a tip proportionate to the value you received. The link to do so can be found in the video description. Once again, thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Do you ever find yourself stuck when under pressure and can't seem to get going? Many people do. It can be difficult to concentrate on tasks when external or internal pressures create brain fog that affects your ability to do your best work. When distractions are causing pressure that makes you feel immobilized and unable to move forward, there are ways to get around it. Let's start by taking a look at what makes us feel pressured and why it stops us in our tracks. Sometimes, a slight amount of pressure can be positive. It can arouse feelings of motivation, engagement, and excitement. But too much pressure can become an overload where we feel out of control and confused. This type of pressure refers to an emotional state that clouds our thinking, slows our responses, and creates physiological stress. There are basically two types of pressure, external and internal. Examples of external pressure could be expectations from others, a heavy workload, illness, and relationships with other people. In our personal and work environments, internal pressures are things like pushing yourself too hard and having excessively high expectations of your own performance. Overscheduling yourself can add pressure to an already busy schedule as well. Psychologists Robert Yerkes and John Dodson developed the inverted U theory of motivation in 1908. They theorized that people are able to do their best work when they have an appropriate amount of pressure for the job they are doing. When the pressure increases and becomes greater than what is needed to feel motivated, work performance decreases. The idea is that some pressure can be beneficial, but too much becomes immobilizing. Emotions are related to the depth of thought with which we can make decisions. It might be nice to think that decisions are made strictly with rational thought, but that's not true. Emotions come into play in all of our thinking processes. It just depends on what type of emotions they are and how we use them. Emotionary then responses are a reaction to a stimulus. When the emotional, impulsive brain overrides your rational one, it shuts it down. To keep your rational brain on track, you need to slow down so it can reboot. Slow breathing can be a useful tool to help make that happen. On the other hand, emotion-informed choices are made intentionally with a full understanding of options and outcomes. When using rational thinking, your strategies could be based on what makes sense intellectually. Logic and facts are part of the rational way of looking at things, but they might miss an emotional component that could weigh in on effective decision-making. So, what happens if we use both types of thinking together? When rational and emotional thinking are combined, you might arrive at something we call wisdom. This is the balance between the two, resulting in mindfulness. By honoring the emotional thoughts yet acting rationally, you can often come to decisions based on facts, logic, and compassion. This form of wisdom can help you move past procrastination in stressful situations. There are different kinds of pressure that can be causing your procrastination. Are you feeling stressed over an approaching deadline? Or are you pressured by other circumstances that are pulling you away from thinking about your task? Although both of these situations are examples of pressure, the way you choose to handle them can be completely different. Your reaction to an upcoming deadline can be met with time management, tools, and checking to be sure you have the resources you need to do the job. Then it becomes a matter of personal discipline. On the other hand, if you are feeling pressure due to distractions from things like relationship issues or illness, you would have another way of looking at your options. Taking some time to resolve the issue and clear your head will allow you to refocus on your work once the situation is passed. Feeling under pressure can cloud your thoughts and make it difficult to move forward with clarity and motivation. It can seem confusing to even know where to begin. Whatever distractions are causing the delays, you can assess them and make an informed decision about how to move forward. Ask yourself, how am I feeling about working on this project? Is there an external distraction, or is the resistance coming from within? Once you have identified the reason for your procrastinating, then ask yourself if there is a better way of dealing with this obstacle. Becoming overwhelmed can create a cycle of procrastination. The more overwhelmed you are, the harder it is to get started. And the harder it is to get started, the more overwhelmed you become. The longer this cycle continues, the more difficult it can be. By thinking about what is keeping you from your task, you can start addressing each block one at a time and focus on that, rather than letting other thoughts, people, or circumstances hijack your plans. Once you've identified your emotions, reframed your thinking, and acknowledged any external and internal distractions, you can focus on a plan to get yourself back on track. Setting goals and utilizing time management tips are a good place to start. Schedule your tasks in an organized way to make a plan for completion. If you need breaks to deal with outside situations along the way, make time for them. but stay on track with blocks of time to work on your tasks. You can also use time management skills to get things done in a reasonable period. It can be easy to procrastinate if you think you have plenty of time to do something, but then you might feel some unwelcome pressure when you approach that upcoming deadline. You never know what else may come up, causing additional pressure at the last minute that is out of your control. Remember that you have control over one thing, and that is you. You choose how to respond to any given situation. Understand the reasons you are feeling pressured. By using time management tools and setting personal boundaries, you might find you have less stress, leading to less procrastination. Whether it's a deadline looming over you, constant distractions, too many tasks piling up, or other pressure causing you to procrastinate, the way you choose to deal with it is up to you. The circumstances of what is happening may not be under your control, but the way you respond to it always is. You may not be able to eliminate all situations that create pressure in your life, but when you have control over yourself, you will be able to act from a place of personal power and calm. Then your decisions and actions can be based on informed choices that are in your best interest. Ernest Hemingway wrote, "Courage is grace under pressure." Have the courage to confront the obstacles in your path, and from there, you can move forward without hesitation.